A member of the Italian parliament by the name of Vittorio Sgarbi has launched a genuine campaign to denounce government policy that feeds panic by reporting as coronavirus deaths all elderly people who died from serious illnesses they already had before the outbreak. An old man who had end-stage cancer cannot be declared dead by coronavirus, quoting several medical experts who say the same thing. The Italian parliamentarian also referred to the situation in other European countries like Germany or France, where the death toll is much lower precisely because the numbers were not inflated. The Italian politicians' statements are confirmed by the statements of the Italian health authorities. For example, in a statement yesterday, the head of civil protection, Angelo Borelli, stated that the number of reported deaths refers to all those who died of various serious pathologies, to which is added the detection of coronavirus infections, sometimes after death. This was also evident in the early days of the epidemic in Italy, when data on victims were still specified. These were elderly people, over 80, even 90, some of whom had cancer, severe heart disease, patients with diabetes or dialysis. Even though the main Italian official in the fight with the coronavirus mentioned in his statement that it is mostly people with other serious health problems, most of the times the media only sends the first row. Another 100 people have died in Italy. These are figures that go around the world and increase panic, even in areas where there are only a few cases. Just that many of them would have died anyway because of the diseases they suffered with or without the coronavirus. If it wasn't the crazy coronavirus, no one would have been surprised, nor anyone shocked, that someone's grandfather died, who was long waiting in line to meet the Creator. That's life. More than 99% of coronavirus deaths in Italy were people who have suffered from previous medical conditions, according to a study by the National Health Authority in the country. The Institute of Rome examined the medical records of about 18% of the coronavirus deaths in the country. So far, because it is slow work, finding that only 3 victims, or 0.8% of the total, had no previous pathology or disease. Nearly half of the victims suffered from at least 3 previous illnesses, and about 1/4 had 1 or 2 previous illnesses. More than 75% had high blood pressure, about 35% had diabetes, and 1/3 suffered from heart disease. The average age of those who died from the virus in Italy is 79.5. 17 people under the age of 50 died from the disease. All victims under the age of 40 in Italy were men with serious medical condition. Average age of those who died, 79.5? Are you freaking kidding me? Many previous medical conditions, weakened immune systems, and what an emerging study does not say. All these people were obviously treated for those previous conditions with toxic drugs. In addition, once they were diagnosed with coronavirus, they were given very toxic antiviral drugs. Thus, this gave the final blow. Coronavirus as the cause of death would be a ridiculous fantasy. But these people are considered coronavirus deaths by Italian reporting agencies, which record the numbers. Do you remember this from other reports? Older people with obvious past illnesses who died in Australia, and the elderly who have been diagnosed with coronavirus in Washington state, all living in a long-term care home. Getting the picture? This number of deaths, in addition to covering the real causes of death, including medical, is the spear used to justify locking up and damaging economies around the world right now. And that means attacking people who are connected to those economies that need to be working in order to make a living. As the world knows, the government of Italy has shut down the entire country, exactly 60 million people, long before other countries followed the same path. So, how many Italians do you think died from COVID? Even by the standards of useless and misleading diagnostic tests. Are you ready? So, as far as the Higher Health Institute in Italy knows at this moment, maybe two. Maybe. Try to paint yourself a picture. Good luck with that. It seems that the president of the Italian Higher Institute has some smart information on his side. He understands that people who already have other serious health conditions, which are not related to COVID, can and do die from other conditions, regardless of the fact that they have been positive on useless tests for COVID. This leaked information will have some repercussions. I predict a not so great future for him. Because he didn't keep his mouth shut, he might find himself working as a weed killer in a forest. Or he may be suddenly diagnosed with the virus and find himself isolated. There are statistical vampires in the workplace who use the elderly and the dying to feed the numbers of the health agencies on the planet. These agencies reach their press contacts and horror reports appear, and the unexpected public in economic jams sit in front of the TV, watch these reports, and inhale the cooked fear. Do you get it now? If the testing, medical examination, and symptoms show the same conclusion as for a normal flu, do you imagine how they can inflate the numbers? Every year, billions of people around the world have the flu, and nobody gives a damn about that topic, though. In the United States, between 20,000 and 80,000 people die from the flu every year. Do you see it anywhere in the media? Does the world stop, the economy crumbles down, and people are under home lockdown? The agenda has never been more obvious than this. And remember, nothing is true, everything is permitted. I thank you all for watching and I see you next time. Take care.